Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So it finally happened. As I predicted a while ago, Trump will get in a fight with Zelensky. In a now, just a verbal spat. Beep, 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 boop, 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 pop, pop, pop. Trump said something and Zelensky responds. We should not forget that the US media, and not only the Western media in general, will defend Zelensky-stein for the reasons we know. Not Trump, Zelensky-stein. So let's see what happened. Trump made some comments. This is the first article I'm going to use coming from Russia Today. This is from the 19th of February 2025. Trump speaks to journalists after Russia talks. So what did he say about Zelensky? Right here, on Zelensky. The US president described Zelensky as a deeply unpopular at home. And I'm quoting, the leader in Ukraine, I hate to say it, but he's down at a 4% approval rating, Trump claimed. And I'm quoting again, when they want a seat at the negotiating table, you could say, wouldn't the people of Ukraine have to say, it's been a long time since we had an election? Now, according to New York Times, Zelensky's approval rating, New York Times, you can't pick a better one, approval rating has dipped to around 50% from 90% he enjoyed during the first months of the conflict in 2022. Zelensky's 5-year presidential term expired in May 2024, last year, and he has refused to call new elections, citing martial law. Okay, that's the first one. Next one. According to Ukrainska Pravda, so these are the Ukrainians, we're going to defend the Zelensky-stein, the Ukrainian. Trump says elections needed in Ukraine as Zelenskyy allegedly has 4% approval rating. This is from Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. Now, look at this. This is what Trump said, and this is published on the 19th. Correct? All right, it says here, we have a situation where we haven't had elections in Ukraine, where we have martial law, where the leader in Ukraine, good job, man, I like you for that, instead of saying the Ukrainian leader. I hate to say it, but he's down at 40% approval rating. I would say that, when they want a seat at the table, wouldn't the people of Ukraine, the Ukrainian, have to say it's been a long time since we've had an election? That's not a Russia thing. That's something coming from me and coming from many other countries also. But what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Zelensky comes and he dares to accuse Trump of being lost and using Russian propaganda. Again, Russia dossier, and that's the same guys behind it. So let's go to the next one. Remember, that was they're going to tell us about December. The Kiev Independent Institute of Sociology concluded a survey conducted as of December 2024 that while the percentage of Ukrainians who do not trust Zelensky rose to 39% during the year, 52% trust the head of state. Now, this is according to the Institute of Sociology. This is a Kiev Institute of Sociology. It's like, let's say, Russia would have the Moscow Institute, an International Institute of Sociology. Would you trust it? I guarantee you, when they're going to tell you Putin has 78% approval rating and the Russians approve of his job, the operatives in the media, the Zelensky-steins, will say, that's fudged. Now, let me show you something else. Let me show you Zelensky's response to Trump. Remember, Trump is the president of the United States of America. He's not the president of Romania or the president of Albania or who knows, Belgium or Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia. No. The United States of America. So he tells him this, Ukraine form, right there. This is from the 19th of February. Zelensky on Trump's polls claim this is Russian disinformation. Got it? Ukrainian, because Zelensky is Ukrainian. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has, why is it one Y and sometimes is double Y? Remember, here, this is Ukrainska Pravda. That's a Ukrainian media outlet. Uses double Y. Now, Ukrinform is also a Ukrainian media outlet, and they use one why. Make up your freaking minds. So Zelensky has dismissed his approval rating cited by US President Donald Trump as, and I'm quoting, disinformation coming from Russia. That means our president is Russia's asset. This is exactly what their media will try to instill in the baboons' heads in the free world. Hey, but that's not disinformation. These are the real guys, man. This is the real media, the real investigators and journalists. Yes, 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 yes. Let's go. If someone wants to replace me right now, that won't happen. Okay, say that to yourself. Regarding this 4% approval rating, we've seen this information. We understand that it's coming from Russia. We understand this and we have evidence, all right, you're good, that these figures are being discussed between America and Russia. Unfortunately, President Trump, whom we have great respect for as a leader of the American people, whom we greatly respect and who constantly supports us, lives in this disinformation space, my friends, right there. This is information space. Zelensky said. All right, next one. Ukrainska Pravda, again double Y. Zelensky responds to Trump's claim about his approval rating. And he says the same thing. He points out that according to the Kiev International Institute of Sociology, his trust rating is 57 in December, he says. All right, and the same statement here. US President claimed, I hate to say it, but he's down at 4% approval rating. Next one. Zelensky, 1Y from CNN, says Trump lives in disinformation space. Now, these guys are covering for Zelensky's-stein. This is a foreigner. CNN, is just a American media outlet, supposedly. Now, they just report, right? That's all they do. I dare you to read Ivana Kotsachsova and Kotsiagak CNN report right here. I want you to read it. So yes, he said this is information space. So he's somewhere like in a cuckoo land. I feel insulted by, as an American, by this alien guy, saying something like this regarding our elected official. He's not elected anymore. His term expired. I know. It's the martial law. Next one. Zelensky, double Y, NBC News. So NBC News uses double Y. CNN uses one Y. All right. Nevertheless, Zelenskyy hits back at Trump's comments, says Ukraine is not for sale. So all these guys, you're going to see NBC, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, CNN, if I said it before. Nevertheless, these guys will back the foreign leader, not our leader. Instead of just reporting it, their reports, their whatever, the little pieces of information they will give us will be very much positive towards Zelensky, not our president. You know why? I would like you to go and look over NBC News, CNN, and others to see who's in who are the guys in charge of those. And you're going to understand. And the names. And when you get the name, look at their real names. All right? Like my name, let's say, is Emil Kosman, but it was, Mohammed. Let me get another one. It was the wrong number. No, wrong number. Sorry. My name is, let's say, Moses or Joshua. Is it like Josh or Joe? No, you're Joshua fucking Ash. Joshua, Bernstein. But my name is Emil Kosman, which is still looking to that. Anyway, let's go first. Further, and again, this is another article coming from Associated Press. Trump is living in a Russian-made disinformation space, says Ukraine Zelenskyy. Again, and he's hurt. You see, instead of making fun of this guy and saying, how do you dare to say this about our president? No, all these are positive. Look, he's hurt. Really, he wants peace and he loves his nation, which is not Ukraine. Anyway, but this is more important right here. Ukrainska Pravda. Remember, what Trump said, it was on 19th of February, published. Now published this article in, again, the same day. 57 of Ukrainians trust Zelensky. KIIS, probably Kiev Institute of International Sociology, poll released after Trump's statement. So these guys needed not even a day to release a poll. Wow. Did you work in polling? I have a degree in sociology. Well, I have some information for you. When you start a opinion poll right now, you don't publish it today or tomorrow. I mean, if you want to make it flimsy, you can make it. You can make it today and publish it yesterday. If you know what I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can bring whatever percentages you want. You ask the right questions and the baboons will not get it. And from 100 of the respondents, you pick and choose and then you make the poll. Who's going to verify that? This is, after all, Kiev Institute for International Sociology, babu boo ba ba ba. So let's see what these guys are saying. So these guys released the poll, all right, after, let's see, maybe it was the other poll in December. Maybe I was just talking shit. Let's see. President Zelensky has the trust of 57% of Ukrainians, with 37% distrusting him. The Kiev International Institute of Sociology has reported. KIIS poll conducted on February to 9 of February. So it was not yesterday or today done, but they republished this one. At the first half of February 2025, 57% of Ukraine trust President Zelensky. 37% do not trust him. The balance of distrust is plus 20%. All right, so that means these are doing just fine according to these guys. Do you trust them? Right here. So he's going a little bit, actually, they trust him more. Right there, 57, 52. Now, do you believe that? I personally don't care. I personally don't care if I should believe that. That's not the point. That's a secondary issue. The first issue is this. As Trump said, and this is a little bit disingenuous. Trump said, well, you guys have been working and fighting the war and you started, guys, blah, 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 blah. You should stop it. And talking about, as I read at the beginning, the first article, this is ingenious. Why? Because it was not per se the Ukrainians. It was someone else working in Ukraine to create this thing. And it was someone else fanning the flames all these 3 years. And it was not the Ukrainians. Remember, the Ukrainians, I think, would have been done in 2 weeks. And the negotiations in Istanbul, if I remember correctly, between the Russian delegation and the Ukrainian delegation, support my statement, which is the Ukrainians wanted, okay, we're done, we don't want to be destroyed. But then Boris Johnson came with news from Washington, we will get in full force, NATO that is. We're not going to send troops, we're going to support you, we have our own plans. So to say that, hey, the Ukrainians, you could have stopped this, you started this, no, I would refer you to 2014 coup d'etat in Ukraine, who was started, financed, and by the Ukrainians, all right? So they overthrew a legitimate government, democratically elected, as it is in Europe and United States of America. It was overthrown with the help and of the greatest country in the world. And then the greatest country in the world recognized the usurpers, the guys who overthrew violently. People died. Bloody coup. The Americans recognized it. Then the next day, when that was successful, they recognized it. So they recognized the coup, military bloody coup, against a democratically elected government that we didn't like. So we love democracy. When they say here, protect democracy in America, no, it's protect us. No, you got to protect us. What do you mean? Democracy doesn't need protection like that. I mean, you hailed those guys, you support them, you recognized the usurpers, and then you moved in with what? CIA bases, military trainers and all that. Why, I wonder? And then tell them you're going to be NATO. And when the Russians tried to talk to you in last time in January and February 2022, before the invasion, let alone 2021, October, November, December, what did you say? No, we're not going to give you any guarantees, any security guarantees. But now everybody talks about giving Ukraine security guarantees. Why? I tell you why. Because right now you guys and Ukraine is blooded. You are blooded. And now you say, oh, we want security guarantees. The Russians needed a war? Yeah, they tried. They tried and they failed to kneel Russia again. So then who's in the top? The bad dudes, right? No, because the bad dudes, according to these guys, are going to make a deal with the good dudes, with the Americans. Or they're bad dudes now, both. Remember, after the Second World War, again, the good dudes made a deal with the bad dudes, with the Soviets. Now, Soviets were the bad dudes. But because in charge of Soviet Union were the, you know whom? They made a deal. We're going to give you everything that we fought for. They fought to defend Poland and Europe because of, the Germans were going to take over. And what did they do? They gave it to even something, I may say, worse, which is Stalin and the Soviet Union. Stalin was not a Russian. But hey, since you had Kaganovich, Yogoda, and all others flying high and beautiful over there in the Soviet Union, you were very friendly to them. So here, my friends, Trump will try to destroy that guy and kick him out. The other guy has the support of the media and the big bankers and others. Why? Some people make big profits in Ukraine as we go. So why should they stop? We'll find out how this plays out. Is either or. I suspect that could be a little real military insurrection in Ukraine, and the guy will just be sent to Moses. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.